My husband, Aaron, and I recently celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary. Thank you. We met in a statistics class in college. Aw, what are the odds? When we first got married, we moved into a brand new little cookie cutter home community where all the homes were exactly the same, 3 beds, 2 baths. It was a simple and easy time. When you went to your neighbor's house, you knew exactly where the bathroom was. The reality was, it really was the time of our lives. There were other newlywed couples just like us and families with 1 or 2 kids. We had date nights out and game nights in, and we had craft nights and stamp nights, and we even had our annual yard sale where we brought our junk into one yard. We basically just bought each other's stuff and took it home. But one man's trash is another man's treasure. As time went on, our friends had more and more kids, and they became less and less fun. My husband and I, we stayed dinks, dual income, no kids, for a little while. And at about 4 years in, the family across the street from us moved. And my husband and I literally prayed that a young couple just like us with no kids would move in across the street. I was out one day to lunch, and my husband gave me a call, which was odd because he knew where I was. And yet I answered the phone. I say hello. He does not say hello. He says, "I have good news and bad news." I say, okay. He said, "The good news is a moving van just showed up and a young couple just like us with no kids moved in across the street." Yes. I sat in a state of euphoria for just a minute, thinking of fun times ahead. And then I felt that glimmer of gloom when I remembered what he said first. And I said, "Wait, what's the bad news?" He said, "It's your ex-husband." And his new wife. So, perhaps this is the point in the story where I tell you I was married before. Some people have starter homes. I had a starter husband. I went through the obligatory, "Are you sure it was him?" And he said, "Yes, remember that one time I saw him at Walmart?" And then I went over and introduced myself. He told me his name was Courtney. "And how many male Courtneys do you know?" And so I did what only normal people would do. I left lunch, I went home, I grabbed a chair, I plopped it in front of the living room window. I lifted the blinds ever so slightly, and I sat there for 2 days. I'm not saying it was healthy, and yes, I went to the bathroom and slept at night, but for the first little bit, I had to make sure it was him, and then I had to see her, and then I had so many thoughts going on in this head of mine, many questions. Now, maybe you have some questions. Allow me an opportunity to answer them for you. No, he had no idea where I lived, or he would not have moved there. Yes, I did look up the odds. It's 1 in 300,000. No, we did not become couple BFFs and have date night, game night. And 5, we lived across the street from each other for 5 years. After 3 or 4 years went by, my husband, Aaron, said to me one day, "I forget that your ex-husband lives across the street." I took a deep breath, and I said, "I remember every day, but I remember the heartache. I remember the nights I cried myself to sleep. I remember being married and feeling totally alone. I also remember telling myself, one man's trash is another man's treasure. One man's trash is another man's treasure. One man's trash is another man's treasure." I hope your ex never moves in across the street. Or whatever your metaphorical ex is, the great equalizer for all of us is that we all have challenges. I would pray for you, but my prayers turn out weird. What I can promise is that happiness is possible, even if your daily micro-stressors and your past are staring at you from across the street. We all know that the optimist looks on the bright side, but I know that being the optimist isn't enough. You have to be what I call the happiest. The happiest doesn't just look on the bright side, they live there. You have one life. Make it the happiest.